You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
Kicking off your 11 minutes of nonstop news on a rainy Tuesday morning.
We've got you covered with nothing but news, traffic, and of course a lot of weather for the next 11 minutes straight. Chesley, this is a morning we all need to be prepared.
That's absolutely right. Some freezing rain, sleet starting to mix in with some of that rain over toward our west. That will track mainly over toward the metro area before it begins to taper off. We'll see some slick spots. We'll talk more about it coming up.
We have breaking news just into the newsroom. Gwinnett County Police investigating a shooting in Snellville. We are told this is an officer-involved shooting. It happened on Country Walk off Stone Mountain Parkway. At this time, we do know that no officers were injured. We have a crew headed to that scene right now. We'll keep you updated as soon as we do learn more. Turning it back to the big story of the day, the forecast. A live look outside right now as we track the threat of winter weather in North Georgia and in Metro Atlanta. You see that glaze of precipitation on the roadways. That's leading to school closings. When you mix that in with the temps, it could get dicey out there. We have just learned Forsyth County schools will switch to virtual learning for today, and more than a dozen other districts closed for the day as well, including DeKalb, Cobb, APS. You can get that full list sent straight to your phone. All you have to do is text closings to 404-885-7600, also scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And I'm Liza Lucas. We are just hours away from those freezing cold temperatures, and the time now is to make those final preparations. So we've got you covered this morning with ways to keep your car and your home safe. Turning first to your car.
Allow 3 to 5 minutes to let your vehicle completely warm up. Cold engine oil and cold transmission fluid are not good for your car.
Eli Tao is the manager of European and Domestic Auto Care. He also says checking your tire pressure early and watching the tread is a good idea. As a rule of thumb, remember you can just put a penny in the tread of your tire, and if you can't see Abe's head, well, you are good to go. Now, turning to your home, when temperatures dip below freezing, experts say it too can be vulnerable, and here's the familiar warning: pay attention to your pipes.
If you just have to have the water on, I just recommend in certain faucets of the house, just kind of leave it slightly dripping every so often. You want to flush that toilet.
Reminders from plumber Rashad Patterson. He says the best way to protect your home is to also turn off your main water valve. He also recommends getting large buckets to have on hand to fill up with water and use for things like washing your hands. And a few other tips to keep in mind to make sure you're ready. Wrap exposed pipes with insulation. Open up those cabinet doors to allow heat to circulate to your pipes, and also cover any vents around your home's foundation.
All right, Liza, thanks so much. These storms hitting all across the country, including in Iowa, as voters headed to the polls on Monday. Polls predicted former President Trump would win big, and he did. In fact, he dominated the Iowa caucuses. But there were a few surprises in the race as well, and one candidate ended his bid for the White House. And now the focus shifts to New Hampshire. NBC's Alice Barr joins us live from Des Moines with details and what's ahead. Good morning, Alice.
Good morning, Cheryl. And former President Trump turns his attention to New Hampshire now, having proven that he can deliver on those polls and at least in one state come away with a win with an historic margin of victory here in Iowa, despite facing criminal indictments, despite, as you noted, really cold weather overnight driving down turnout. The race for second place remains interesting. We did see Florida Governor Ron DeSantis come away with a victory here, or well, he called it a victory, a second place victory, and he really poured all of his money, his time, his resources into Iowa. So he wanted to be able to say he had a win of some kind. The most recent polls showed that he was likely to wind up in third place. He signaled last night that because he at least came in second, he is sticking around. He said he punched his ticket out of Iowa, will be carrying on. But the next contests in New Hampshire and in South Carolina certainly favor Nikki Haley over DeSantis. She has put in a lot of work in New Hampshire, a lot of independents there that she's likely to do better with, and then South Carolina is her home state. So she made the case last night that she had a strong enough showing here in Iowa that in the next couple of contests she'll be able to show that she is now the clear alternative and can make this a two-person race between herself and former President Trump. But no question, at this point, we've now seen the former president prove that he can come up big, and he's going to be riding out of Iowa, hoping that he's headed straight on through the rest of this cycle.
All right, it has officially started. Thanks, Alice. That was a look at your Tuesday morning headlines.
And we are waiting to see when the temperatures will start to drop. Chesley, good morning.
Good morning to you. Yeah, we're already in the 30s. We got some 30s up here to the far northwest, and we'll see those temperatures continuing to fall down through the 30s as we head through the morning, down into the 20s. Probably even by mid-morning, we can see some 20s around the forecast area. A little mixing taking place already. In fact, we'll go in here. You can see much of Carroll County now. Carrollton up toward Villa Rica. We do have some mixing taking place, maybe some sleet mixing in with some of that rain, maybe even some snowflakes as well. Over into Paulding County as well, you see Dallas, but on the back edge of that, already starting to come to an end. So it's only going to last briefly. Even up into parts of Cherokee County as well. Canton, you'll be experiencing some of that mixing maybe taking place, a little sleet, maybe freezing rain, mixing in with some of that rain. You got all rain over into Atlanta right now, especially over toward the east, Lawrenceville, and further over toward the east, Covington as well, where your temperatures are in the 40s, upper 30s, and even in the 40s. We have the winter weather advisory. That's the counties colored in the purple there. Will last until noon today as that rain begins to taper off, or the precipitation, I should say, begins to taper off. Again, you could get some mixing in there, but we're not expecting widespread problems because of that. You may get some slick spots in some areas, isolated spots, maybe in some of the overpass passes, some of the bridges. It's possible, but not expecting widespread issues because of that. The wind picking up as well, and that will help to dry things out as we head through the afternoon, so a good sign there. Temperatures below the freezing mark in places like Canton, you're at 30 degrees, 30 over into Rome, 24 degrees in Dalton, not a lot of precipitation up here. You got 30 into Carrollton, where the rain is starting to taper off there, 36 in Atlanta, 35 degrees Peachtree City, 41 in Covington at the current hour. We're going to see our temperatures get up to about, will go down, I should say, around the 20s, and then hover around the freezing mark as we head through the afternoon. So your winter wear forecast calls for a coat today, and guess what? You're going to need it for the rest of the week, especially tonight into tomorrow. We're expecting those temperatures to fall off into the teens tonight. With the wind still around, you factor that in, it's going to feel like the single digits in many spots. Because of that, we have a wind chill advisory that kicks in at 5 o'clock and will last through 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. Waking up Wednesday morning with those winds around and the temperatures in the teens and the wind chills in the single digits, it could get as low as 0. Hypothermia could kick in quickly, folks, if you're not bundled up. Make sure you put on layers. You're going to need to. Dress the kids up as well as they're heading to the bus stops, especially for tomorrow morning. And it will be a cold day, despite the fact that we'll have that sunshine in place. Now, you're not going to see a whole lot of sun early on, even after the rain begins to end. Clouds will still be around. Those clouds will start to thin out a little bit as we head through the afternoon. And I do think we'll get some sunshine in before it sets today. Front has already passed us. You see the northwest flow around that area of low pressure that's sliding away from us. Winds will be out of the northwest anywhere between 15 and 20 miles per hour. Gusts could be a little bit higher than that at times. That Arctic air is really taking over the United States and making its way down toward us. And so that colder air will continue to filter in as we head through the afternoon. One of the coldest days of the week today, as temperatures will only be in the 30s for highs. Again, tonight we'll dip down into those teens. So it's going to be a very cold start for your Wednesday. We'll get some sunshine back in here for Thursday as well, and temperatures will get back into the 40s. Briefly before more of that colder air starts to make its way back down to the south. In fact, you'll feel it by Saturday morning as temperatures will be back down into the teens for lows, and then highs will only be in the 30s. Forecast track model shows the rain ending this morning, those clouds thinning out. Again, there's the sunshine right there. Cold night tonight. Again, temperatures down into the teens. That's where we'll start off on Wednesday, but it's going to feel like the single digits. 37 degrees will be your high temperature. 48 on Thursday, 43 degrees by Friday, and then back down into the teens once again Saturday morning. Only 32 degrees for the high with mostly sunny skies. We'll rebound a bit for the latter half of the weekend and into the beginning of next week.
Before we go, let's get another live look outside at Blue Ridge as we do track this winter weather in North Georgia and the metro. We want to make sure you guys stay safe out there, because if you get that temperature low, then you get that wet roads.
Yeah, I want to see you both come in with the parka and the hood over your face like that tomorrow.
We got you.
Oh, I just posted a picture of me in that same uniform.
You can see about this much of her eyes.
From Indiana days. Thinking of all the reporters and all people who work outside today, it's going to get cold.
Oh, yeah. Bundle up. Be safe.
All right, everybody, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Another cold morning then, and we got you covered. Have a great day.